What's up, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Rocket Live. I want to thank everybody who's joining us live right now. And of course, as always, we want to thank everybody who will be watching this as the replay later on and also the audio version later on down the line as well. Make sure you hit that subscribe button if you're watching this on YouTube, because that not only helps grow the channel, but it also helps the guests that I have on. So when you like and you reshare these episodes, it helps the people that I have on here who take the time out of their day to have these conversations with me. And today I am joined by an amazing guest of mine who I recently just connected with, and we got along so well. And I was like, I definitely got to have Kim on my show because I think we're just gonna have a great conversation together. So I want to welcome Kim White from My Sexy Business on to the show. So Kim, thanks for jumping on today. I really appreciate it.
Excited that we did connect, and I'm excited to be with you today.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I like I've been saying a lot for everybody who's been watching the last, few weeks and listening in and this has been one of my favorite things about being on Clubhouse, because like any social app, there's always going to be your positives and your negatives. And I know for a lot of people, there's been a lot of like, oh, it's a time suck. It's this. There's a lot of like hot air on the app, things like that. And yes, while that is true, there's also some great benefits. And for me, one of the biggest benefits has been the amount of amazingly like just cool people who are doing like really great things with their business, and hearing their stories and how what they're doing is helping to impact others and help them achieve like their dreams and their successes and the things that they're going for. And we've connected on Clubhouse in one of I think it was the podcasting room, which is the one I always talk about a lot, the morning podcasting chat group. And you've been running a group on Saturdays that I've been participating in, which is great. And so we're going to be talking all about that and about your business. And there's so many like cool topics I really want to dive in with you about. But let's start really quick and let everybody know who you are and clue everybody a little bit in about like what My Sexy Business is all about.
For all of that, and I appreciate Clubhouse bringing us together. I definitely have a story behind My Sexy Business. That is the name of our business, but I am obsessed with collaboration. And I think that collaboration is our business. Mm-hmm. I think that is the sexy piece to our business. I hope I'm answering your question the way you want me to, but I'm just telling you that is really what I'm all about. That's why I love the connections on Clubhouse. It gives me opportunity to connect with more people because of that. So I believe you can have a business that does not own you, that you own it. And to me, the confidence, the community, the collaboration, that's all what sexy's about.
Nice. I love that. And I know a lot on your website, as I was doing a lot of reading, having, spent time with you in these rooms and listening to you talk and have these conversations that we've had. I've learned a bit about you and your style and the way you do things. But also I love on your website, you talk a lot about like that self-confidence and having a positive mental attitude, a positive mindset, which I talk about a lot on the show and the conversations I have with people. Talk a little bit about that and how that is so important to you and how you're helping people to really cut through that and really start to gain that confidence and have that switch in mindset for them.
One of the biggest things that we do to our own selves is getting in our own way. We get in the way of what we actually are capable of because we look around us and we look at the highlight reels of everyone else, and then we look at our blooper reels and we think, oh my goodness, I did this stupid thing or I did that thing, so I can't possibly do this good thing. So I think that that's the biggest challenge for people across the board, is learning who they are and to show up and be okay with it. So I think that's the confidence piece for me, is like, be you. Nobody else is you. You be you.
Yeah, I love that. It's such a powerful message. It's something that like I said, I do talk about a lot on the show, and it's a lot of the content that I share in the conversations I get in with a lot of folks. Let's take a step back. Can you share a little bit about your background? Sort of how did you get to this point? How did you get to My Sexy Business? Because you have the business, there's a magazine, there's a podcast, like you've got a whole My Sexy Business like empire going on. And it's mobile too, which I will get into that as well. But how did you get to this point? Talk to us about the journey.
Well, I am a 38-year veteran of serial entrepreneurship. That's a mouthful. I have actually been doing business since I was 16, but I've learned so much along the way. And I have learned how to, and this is going to sound really cocky, and I'm sorry because it's not meant that way, but when I want something, I know I can get it because I go after it. So I spent a long time going after things I wanted and figuring out what I didn't want. And I put out there that I wanted an office building full of people, and I wanted to do this, this big thing. And I did it, and I found myself looking out the window of my conference room in my office building and realized I hadn't left the building and I didn't know when. I wasn't able to travel. It was literally taking my life.
Right.
So I decided that I had to figure out a different way. And that's when the sexy came into business. I exited that business and created this business so that people would know they really could have a business, that they could do the things they love, they could help the people they love, they could serve well and be paid a lot for it. That's the other piece is, a lot of people are on a mission to serve people, but they don't realize that they're doing a disservice by not making offers to those people as well, changing their lives. So that is like ugly to sexy in a couple minutes.
Yeah, no, it's great, and I know you said a couple key things there, and I think it's true for a lot of people. Is like you realize you get to this point, and it's like, hey, be careful what you wish for or the goals you're gonna set up because you're gonna achieve them, and it may turn out to be at the end of the day not the thing that you actually what you want to do or where you want to be. But then what I like how you shared in your story is you got there and you looked at it and you realized it and you said, hey, it's okay to not like, yeah, I'm here, but like, I'm not as happy as I thought I was going to be. And now I can change that. And I think that's really cool because that's definitely, I think a lot of people feel that way. And sometimes, yeah, they can make that decision like you did, a bold decision of saying, I'm going to change the situation and I'm going to go do this. I'm going to follow this. And some people are a little afraid to take that step and they stay there and they're unhappy and they sort of deal with that unhappiness, which I think that's, people can relate to that story. And I love then too, this is sort of how you're helping people to overcome that place because you were there.
Absolutely. And we have recreated a different kind of life, a life that we are on an adventure and we were having so much fun. It's evolved. I think our lives evolve, and I think giving ourselves permission to evolve in things and having the confidence to know that whatever you're doing today doesn't mean that you have to do that forever. Try some things out, like work out what it is you like and see the things that could possibly make you happier.
Yeah, I think it's really great advice. It's really great advice. We're gonna check in right now. We've got Amanda Sharp checking in saying, hello, my sweet friends. And hello, Amanda. We love you. Thank you for checking in with us. If anybody else would like to drop a comment, or if you have a question as we go along here, please feel free to post it and we will bring it up and we'll answer any questions that you have for Kim White of My Sexy Business, who we are sitting with today, having an awesome conversation with. And I do want to ask, so Kim runs this room that which I don't know if you've been doing this room for this long, but I want to talk about the topic of this room because I think that it relates for a lot of people. And I love this topic that you do, which is how to make business fun. And this is a room that you've been running on Clubhouse on Saturday mornings. But like I said, I love that topic. And I think for a lot of people out there who are in business, business owners, part of business, whatever, I think this is a very relevant topic. And especially with, the things that we've gone through on the business landscape over the last year or so, I think this is really important of how do we even get back to that place too? How do we get back to having fun in our businesses with things that have happened? So let's talk a little bit about that. So what does that mean for you when you say, how to make business fun? Encapsulate that for me.
I love people. And so being alone, even if you're doing business alone, you're the sole entrepreneur, or you are the one doing most of the work, you still can surround yourself with people that are fun. I have a team that is amazing. I have people in my life that bring in fun. We don't do anything in a way that I guess is unsexy anymore. We still have some pain points to solve. I don't want to talk like we've solved all the problems, because we haven't. But doing things as an adventure, doing things with a different shift in how you think about them, instead of, the drudgery of business, I think is the first step to creating some fun in your business. So I think it starts on the inside of the leader or the inside of the owner before you get to the outside that everybody can see. Everybody sees us having fun now. But I think it came from us choosing to actually set it up that way. We have conversations instead of just all work. We celebrate new babies, we celebrate a lot of things, wins, and that makes it fun. So I hope that answers your question.
Yeah, and I think that's really cool. So just let's play this out. So if I was a business owner, well, I am a business owner, but I know how to have fun in my business. So, but if I was a business owner, I was trying to really find that, and I'm I'm struggling, or I'm in a newer business, and I'm really trying to integrate this, and I'm not sure how to do it, or how to handle or just bring that kind of level to my teams. What would you, where's a good place? I mean, obviously they would reach out. First step is reach out to Kim White. So call Kim White. But what kind of advice would you give them as far as where to start, or even better yet, how to even identify this? Let's back that up. How do you even identify that, maybe my business isn't fun, or I need to elevate, I need to level up my internal and get that to a point?
Everybody has to choose their own fun path. But I will tell you, for me, giggling is one of the things that makes me know we're on the right path. And I know that probably sounds very immature when we do high-level business. But the truth is, we can have a good time. We can have conversations. We don't have to be so intense with, the things that run the business. We also can have a life with that business, with each other. So maybe that's dinner. Maybe that's coffee. Maybe that's, doing some prize contest thing. And maybe that's having a competition with your team of who gets their stuff done quickest, and, just silliness and curiosity, those kind of things that are probably pretty childlike to a lot of people that are corporate still. But I will tell you, even my business that I consider ugly, it wasn't that it wasn't profitable. It wasn't that it wasn't, the things. But even that oil and gas company, we did a lot of things together. We sponsored 5K events. We would go as, there'd be 40 of us in a group, and we'd go walk for a cause, or we would do things outside of the business. So I think those are some examples too of even if you're corporate, if you're a solo entrepreneur, whatever it is, you can fit those kind of things. Silly t-shirts. We would all get t-shirts alike, and even those just those moments of just we're all the same. We're
Right.
all on this mission together. So let's do it in an adventurous way.
Yeah, I really like that because it is one of those things that is just so important. I recently had Stacy Sherman on the show a few episodes ago, and we talked about the importance of not just even the customer experience, but a lot of your team experience, your internal team experience, and making sure that that employee experience, your associates, the people you work with every day, are also having an experience. And when obviously you want to create, I just think an experience for everybody. Like you want your clients to feel like that they're being treated like VIPs, but I think internally, if you want your clients to be treated like VIPs, you gotta treat your staff, your team, everybody you're working with, your partners, like that too. You have to have that experience.
We have done, but like this is a secret, so don't tell anyone, okay? We have done glass walks, we've done aero breaks, we have done some things that were team building exercises also that took us out of our regular element to do things. And I giggle because my friend who does the glass walks and stuff, he also puts on fire walks for like Google and places like that.
Right.
And he would bring that to us. He did those kind of things for us. And let me just tell you, those were not things on my radar. They were not on my bucket list. But he was right. It was really fun to do that together and to be able to talk about it, later, because we actually lived that moment over and over with each other, giggling about the different reactions. So that's just another example.
Yeah, and I think it's a really cool example because you want to do things a little different, and it's there's a phrase we've said over and over. I have a guest come on and say this, and it's okay to start getting comfortable with being uncomfortable. And you do have to like try some new things, or see somebody else do it to sort of get yourself like, what, they did that, I can't believe they did that, like they went there, and then it sort of empowers everybody else to see that, especially like if you see like leadership doing it, things like that, like, oh, I never thought like he would do that or she would do that, and it's like, and then before you know it, like everybody's like as a team all bonding together over this one action, and then other people are now going to start doing these things.
I love it. I want to know, if you don't mind me turning the tables for just a second.
Go. Love it. Do it. Yes.
I want to know, Chris, what all you do to bring fun in, because I think you're fun all by yourself, and I can't even imagine how fun your team is.
Well, so I will talk a little bit more. And so for me myself, so right now how I run my business is literally just me. Like I am my own team. I do have my daughter does help me with some of my content production a bit, and my wife certainly helps out a bit. But for when I was with my previous company, we used to do all kinds of fun like stuff. We would hold like these like internal socials, and they would be themed, and we would do all kinds of like wacky stuff. We even one year we held like an outdoor like carnival thing with food, and we invited our friends, our family, our clients, and we had a whole we called it a name. We made up this whole like name for it and everything. And we used to, when employees would come on, we would throw like parties, like almost like a birthday party, welcoming on board. We would do even that themed, like we'd kind of prank them and make them dress up, and then we'd all show up in like pajamas. So we would just do a lot of like different like fun, very culture building things at different various points at the company. So we would make sure that we would call fun day, and we would do a fun day, and we'd go out and go do things like whitewater rafting or great adventure, or spend a whole day like doing like bowling and miniature golf and driving. Like we just did things like that as much as we could, just to break it up, and we're a creative agency, we're doing that. And so it's like we want to also keep everybody like fresh, creative, feeling inspired, motivated, just getting that inspiration and those juices going, and not just try to break up the the routine of the days. I mean, listen, there's work to be done, and we have systems we need because we're getting paid to execute. We have to hit deadlines, but you got to do things to release the pressure and get everybody back into that like mode of feeling good and youthful, and acting like kids and all that stuff. So that was something we always did and always tried to do. We always were trying to make a very fun environment in our space, and then do things with our teams to make it very fun. How I do it now. I mean, I personally myself, I break my day up by doing things for myself that are just fun. You see, I have this one guitar back here, but I have other guitars, and they're kind of placed around the house. So that way, as I kind of walk around the house and take breaks, I'll pick up and play a little bit. Or, I have other various things that I like to do to break up my day. Now that it's getting warmer outside, because in New Jersey, anybody on the East Coast knows that it feels like it's cold forever, and then it just gets hot. So now that it's warming up outside, I'll be able to sort of take my fun outside a bit more and do some things. I like to move my office out there, and I'm under this little gazebo thing. And so, I try to break up my day as best I can. I try not to just sit in this office all day long, and I move around. I try to do some things like that. So, well, and as I grow, we'll see what happens. But I love a lot of the ideas.
In your rooms, you make me giggle, because even something that's a hard topic you come across, you make it fun. I will point that out. You do have a way of turning that into fun in conversation. So I think you're just a fun kind of guy.
Well, thank you very much. And thanks, Karen, for checking in. And he says, yes, love how much fun you both infuse into your lives. Thanks, Karen, for sharing that with us. Yeah, I mean, it's so important. You got to laugh, right? You got to laugh. You got to smile. I love how you said the giggling thing. I think it's really, really important. And from the science standpoint of that, when you laugh and that you release the chemicals in your brain that create that euphoric, your the endorphins in your brain, and all that gets, because you're smiling, you're laughing. It's a good feeling to have, and then it creates this positive energy. And most importantly, one of the things you talk about a lot is that positive mindset, the positive mental attitude, which we all, it's great to be there. It's difficult to maintain because of all the things that kind of come into our lives, and you got to try to block them out. So it's the ways for me to do it is to definitely smile and laugh. And I have a record player here. I'm constantly throwing records on and doing all kinds of stuff. So yeah, I get involved. And creating content too is another thing for fun. Doing this show, this for me is such an outlet for me. I really enjoy doing it. It's why I do it. I don't make money off the show. I don't, for me, it is just purely a fun thing to do for that lets me then talk to people like yourself. And then on top of that, now you have a platform to talk about your business and that, and whoever else is watching and live or watching as a replay, then you get exposure to an audience of people that, may not know you, and then vice versa. I may get exposure into your audience. But I do this because it's fun more so than it's I'm making money in podcasting or anything like that.
Making money. I'm just gonna put that out there, Chris. I want you to not apologize if you get to make money doing what you love.
I won't apologize for that. Oh, believe me, I will not. There are no apologies for doing. I mean, I'm already doing what I love. Doing the personal brand coaching and all that, and I love people pay me to help them coach and better their lives. I love that. That is great. I will never apologize for that. That is. But it's a lot of fun doing it too. So there is that end of it as well. So not that I'm going to do it all for free all the time, but but it is a great feeling, and I do try to keep it as fun as I can. And I know that's something you do a lot too, and you talk a lot about in your business and your services, and even on your website you talk about it. And I do want to talk about your two. You have a magazine called My Sexy Business Magazine, My Sexy Magazine. And then you also have a podcast, My Sexy Business Podcast. And so let's talk about both of those, because I guess what I wanted to ask you too, are they one and the same, or is the magazine focus on something different and a podcast is something different, or are they both sort of the same type of thing, just one is print and the other one is an audio?
They're similar. We have the same message across everything that we do, but they are definitely different. The podcast is very short and funny. It's serious topics. It comes with a challenge or and something to implement so that you can move forward in your business. But like one of the topics lately was, what kind of naked lobster are you? That doesn't sound anything to do with business, but it's completely about the growing pains that you have in business.
Mm-hmm.
But it's super short. The magazine is long. It is a lot of articles each time in it, because we don't do just business. We do life. So
Mm-hmm.
we have things in there about mindset. We have things in there about the different readers that we have. Like, we are pretty niche down to who we work with. And so the magazine really is to serve them. It's to serve those people who are needing the encouragement, needing to be inspired by amazing humans doing amazing things. Um, I really believe that a lot of people live in an ordinary life that they consider ordinary, but they're doing extraordinary things. They don't recognize it. And so we try to draw attention to those kind of amazing humans who are out there just serving and being being a great addition, value adder, so to speak, to the world. And nobody really knows about them. And we love the opportunity to promote them so that they get to be known by other people.
Yeah, I think, and let me just say, first of all, I think it's awesome that you do a magazine, because it's like, you don't really hear about it. People, doing magazines, like, especially, like your normal, like the bigger magazines, but very rarely at this point anymore do you hear of anybody saying, hey, it's usually I do a podcast, which is great, but like very rarely do you ever hear somebody say, oh, and I have a magazine. And on top of that, the magazine is actually goes way more in depth and more and deeper than the podcast does. But I love that. I love that you still do a magazine, and I think it's wonderful. I mean, it really is that it's like a, and I see it there behind you. It's like a physical magazine. Like, it's not even like oh, it's a magazine, but you just download it as a PDF, and like it's an actual magazine that you can hold and like have.
Digital copy, like we do that, but we definitely have the printed copy as well. There's something about holding it in your hand, especially if you are the one in the magazine. That is something, and we do have a rule about our magazine that is different than any other magazine that I know of, and that is everyone in the magazine has to be, and I don't even know that this is a real word, this is my word,
Right.
but they have to be contactable. They have to literally be able to be contacted, because it's about collaboration. Like, at the end of the day, my heart is for collaborating with other people. So I think that that's a really important part. These people are amazing humans, but you also can reach out to them and connect with them.
Yeah, I think that's a really good rule. It's like, yeah, you have to be on the grid somehow. Somebody has to be able to, whether it's an email address, like it's your AOL.com email address, like whatever it is, like somebody has to be able to reach out to you, and you have to get back to them. So, well, I think it's a good rule to have. I really do. I think that's cool. So, and obviously you can get, and I have it up. I've had it up here the whole time as we've been going on and off, but you can go to mysexybusiness.com, and that's where you can sign up for the magazine, get a subscription. You can get the paper version, or as Kim had said, you can also get a digital version as well. And I did have a podcast up there as well, which is My Sexy Business as well. And you can get that from the website. But is the podcast also distributed on other platforms, or is it strictly on the website?
We are on all the platforms that we know of.
Gotcha.
iTunes, Spotify, like all of them. So
all of the platforms. So make sure that you subscribe to the podcast wherever you listen to podcasts. So another cool fact about Kim, which I love, is the fact that your business is mobile in every sense of the word. And I say that because you and your husband, you have an RV. That's where you're coming to us live right now, is in the RV. And I love that. I know a few people in my life who have done that, who have said, hey, they've done their thing and they've sold their home and things like that. And they said, you know what, I'm going to get an RV and I just want to travel and see the world, do my thing. And I love that concept of it. And I love that that's how, you're basically, you get to take home with you no matter where you go. Because we were talking about that even a little earlier offline about you used to do a lot of touring and, a lot of constantly like staying at different places, that rigmarole, the hotels and all that stuff. And it wears on you. It's a real grind. And now, at least with this, like everybody can be together. Your home is always with you. I love that concept.
Lots of stages. That is one of the things that looks very glamorous from the outside. Everybody wants to do that until they actually get to do that. And then it's the hotels and the going from one hotel to the other. I used to have to write the number on whatever card it was to get in the door because I was trying to get in last night's number at the next hotel.
Oh, man.
So it is very amazing to not have that problem anymore. When we've been doing it for about 3.5 years now.
Mm-hmm.
And
that's great.
It's such a game changer, we have a place of peace that we can come back to. We stay in great places. We meet like lots of people. We have all the things. I feel like almost I want to pinch myself some days to say, this really is what we get to do.
So at this point, have you pretty much visited all the states? Have you been to every single state in the RV over the 3.5 years?
We have been to all but I believe 8.
Okay.
So we have been some places, yes.
I absolutely love that. So out of your traveling, what do you rank as your best places? Because I love it because it's like this is something I've always wanted to do is see more of the country and do those different things. Exactly what you're doing. I love that. But I would love to hear from you, like your viewpoint, because you've probably been to a few places more than once. You've had that opportunity and maybe some different spots as well. But what would be like some of your favorite spots?
I'm probably going to surprise you with my answer because my favorite places are where the best campfires are.
Oh, yes. See, now you're speaking my language.
I love to be, on like just sitting out in the open. No one knows who anyone else is. And I think that's a super important thing too, is everybody's on the same playing level and we all can have a conversation, telling stories. We get to hear lots of stories. My hubby and I both are, smitten with people. So we love to hear the stories around the campfires. And that's really any place that has that's my favorite. So I know that that's probably not the answer you're looking for, but that's the truth.
No, I think that's great because that's something too that I often use that reference a lot when I talk about things like using social channels and even like using LinkedIn. Is I always say it's like I love camping and I love being around a campfire. It's one of my favorite parts of camping because of that exact thing, like that social aspect of coming around a campfire, telling stories, having a good time, like. And there's just something that sort of happens, like people want to start talking to in complete strangers, all that. Like it's amazing how we're drawn to the fire. People just kind of come out of nowhere. You're like, hey, and you just start talking and getting to know people. And I think that's so great. And that's how I often say, like, that's what when you do content and you put things out there on social, that's what you're doing is you're sitting around. It's just a gigantic global campfire that you all get to sit around and share stories with each other. So I find it very cool that that's sort of like your one of your favorite things.
Love that reference or that analogy, Chris. I think that that's a great way to look at it. So I'm gonna start posting about my campfire on like social.
Yeah, you should. I love it. So out of your journeys, have you seen a lot of like the different like sites, monuments, different like have you different great parks? Things like that. Have you had that opportunity to be able to really experience some of the things around the country?
probably not going to like give you a good answer for this one either.
Mm-hmm.
If I have a choice to go somewhere that's historic, or if I have a chance to sit with someone who is historic, I will always choose the people version. We have heard from so many, and I don't want to say this in a bad way, but from
Sure.
so many like little old people who are not tech savvy, that we would miss out on their stories if we didn't take the time to sit with them and listen. So I do think that that is probably still my favorite of the things that we do. We have gone to a lot of beautiful places. We have done a lot of, fun things, but I'm still going to go back to the people version of it. It's the people that draw me to wherever we're at.
Mm-hmm.
And the different cultures. I think that's another thing that I didn't realize, the different cultures around just our country. We have a team that is spread out all over the world.
Mm-hmm.
And that is super sexy to me. But learning about our own country and that there are little mini cultures all over has been really interesting to me. It has been really interesting to learn the different ways that we do things.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would, that is definitely a benefit that it makes complete sense when you say it like that. I just didn't even think of it that way. But yeah, I mean, you get to like come in contact with all these different, just like you said, different cultures, different spots of the country where things are just like not the way it's done. You get so used to being, especially for me, it's like whenever I travel, it's like you're so in the bubble of like the New York, New Jersey area and the way things are here. And it's like, it really operates here like nowhere else in the rest of the country. There's parts of the country that feel like it, but nothing is quite like this. And then when you go somewhere else, it's like, I'm always a little like, whoa, like, and especially in other pockets, I'm sure it's even more of like a lot like different, slower, or just a different pace at way things are done, or how people are communicating, or, accessibility to different things is just not like, yeah, I can't just drive like 2 minutes down the road and go to like, the big mall complex with everything I possibly need. It's not like that everywhere.
It's not, and it's funny to see that's one of the first things I do is start scoping out where we're going to be, staying, and where we're going to be around the area, because my husband and I eat a funny way. So like, just going there, just to let you know, we eat vegan.
It's not funny. It's I did vegan for a while myself too, and my wife is vegan, and I got plenty of friends who are. So I'm gluten free. I eat gluten free, so I have that thing going on.
But that's another really cool part of the adventure for us, is we get to try out all these restaurants. We get to try out all these places that cater to that, and we have learned so much that we would have never been able to even know is out there existed had we been just in one town, or stayed in one place. But because we really get into a community when we come into a different place, I think that gives us almost a behind the scenes. I almost feel like we're able to see behind the scenes instead of just what everybody wants us to see. We're actually able to like get back there and see the stuff behind the, not the touristy stuff.
The real stuff. Yeah. Like the way stuff. Yeah, the real stuff. Like, yeah. Don't take me to tourist spots. I don't want to see that stuff. I want to see the for real. I want to see what you see. Like, I want to go to those spots because that's the cool stuff. That's where that's where the real action's at.
That's right.
Yeah, I learned that too in traveling, that it's like definitely, find the places that aren't the ones that everybody goes to. Find the places where the people who live there go to, and then you're guaranteed to like, now you're going to see the real area and meet real people and get those cool stories and things like that. Because those other places are just, not that they're bad, they're just, that's where everybody goes. But I want to go to a place you go to. Like that's what I want.
Exactly. We have discovered here, we're in San Antonio right now for another like few days, and we have discovered vegan tamales.
Whoa, that sounds amazing.
Oh my goodness, they are completely off the charts good. And
Yes.
so we have become addicted and now we're concerned about leaving because it's like, oh, how can we take those with us?
You're gonna have to like order a bunch to go, and I guess like sort of freeze them, so then that way they could last a little bit longer. You could probably freeze them, like, which I know is not as good, but at least you can make it last a little bit longer. So it's like, can we order? Is there like a bulk? Can we order like a small case of these? Instead of stick
Or a
them all in
big
your
case.
freezer. Right? Yeah. That way you can just pull them like as you need them, and you can just relive it all over again. So you come back next time, and then you stock up again.
That's right. I love that.
This has been awesome. This has been great. I'm really happy we got to spend some time together today and have this really cool conversation, because I had a feeling it was going to go this way. I had a feeling you and I were just going to have this really just exactly what this is. This is what the show's all about. It's just talking to people and having great conversations. And I appreciate you asking me questions back, because I always love that. I always love when people ask me questions back. So I've been flashing it up as we go here. But as we're winding it down, I do want to give Kim the opportunity here to just say, hey, how can people get a hold of you? You're very contactable, so that's why. But so it's mysexybusiness.com. Is this the best place for people to get a hold of you? Are there any other spots that you want them to go visit? Like, say it away. Take it away.
Go to our website because it will connect you to all our socials. It will connect you to my emails on there. I am very contactable because I really mean it. Like, I do have a team and I do want to put that out there. I have help answering messages. I have help, but they always identify themselves. If you get something that has my name on it, it's me. If you get something from one of my team members, it's going to have their name on it. So you don't have to worry that somebody's like, not who you're talking to. I don't
Yeah.
want anyone to think that. But it is very important to us to connect. It is very important to us to meet people through this means also, not just around the campfires, but around, I guess, the social media campfires.
Right.
Now that I have that reference.
I will let you borrow that.
Thank you. And if somebody wants to check out our flavor, I think the best thing that they can really get into the meat of what we do and who we are is probably in the magazine. That's probably the best way to get to know us quickly and to see if we are your flavor. We're not everybody's flavor, and we are okay with that. But the people who, we are their flavor, we want to be available for them.
Right. So just to get this out there too, so it's on there, is who are the people that should be reaching out to you? Like, who is it that you want to be talking? Are they business owners? Are they who are the people that should be reaching out to you, and why should they reach out to you?
I do have a lot of experience in business of all levels, but the ones that I really have a heart for are the ones that are like me a long time ago. I didn't know I could do the things that I could do. And so it's the wannabe authors, the want to be speakers, the wannabe podcasters, the wannabe magazine owners. It's the ones that, well, and I have a phrase that kind of sounds, again, kind of snotty, and it's not. But I consider myself an influencer of influencers. I just don't think all the influencers know that that's what they are. Mm-hmm. And so I love the opportunity to work with someone who wants to do those things, and I can save them all the hard knocks that come with learning about the industries that they have an idea of how they work, and they don't work that way. So that's really my flavor, the online entrepreneurs and the people that want to have fun in business. That is our flavor.
Love it. So if you want to have fun in your business, you call Kim White, because that is how you have fun.
We're ridiculous. We know it.
You want a sexy business, you call Kim White. That's your first phone call.
That's right. That is exactly right.
And then her or someone from her team will get back to you, but you'll know that it's her or one of her team members.
That's right. Exactly.
No, I love this. I love this. Thank you so much for coming on today. This was really great. I had a blast getting to know you and learning about your business, and and I appreciate you sharing your stories and your insight and your background. It was really, really wonderful stuff. So thank you so much for coming on today.
Thank you so much, Chris. It was absolutely my pleasure.
Yeah, absolutely. This was great, and I'd love to have you back on again in the future for sure. I want to thank everybody before we wrap up here. I want to thank everybody, as I always do, for watching live. I want to thank everybody who will be taking the time out of their day to watch the replay of this, and for those who will be listening to the audio version later on down the line. Wherever you're watching or listening to this, please throw us a like. And feel free to share this wherever you want. And also hit that subscribe button if you're watching on YouTube, or if you are listening to this on whatever your favorite podcast platform is. It really helps you to not only stay notified whenever we put new episodes out and help support the show, but once again, it helps to support the guests that I have on who take the time to come on here and share their stories with all of you. And we do hope that you find value in hearing these stories. I know I do, which is why I do the show. It's like I said at the top, it is something I love doing, and I have a lot of fun doing it. I always appreciate everybody who takes the time to come on, and I appreciate everybody who watches this and listens to it later on down the line. So thank you all for watching and listening to another episode of Rocket Live. We'll see you next Tuesday at 4:00 Eastern Standard Time. And as I always like to say, be authentic, be yourself, and always remember to rock it.